Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm so happy that you're here for another Assemble This video. Today it is all about getting glitzy for the holidays and a bit inky too. So let's make a vibrant background for these snowflakes with spray inks and a bunch of glittery shine in two ways. First, let's work on that snowflake background. I'm going to be using the VersaFine Clair black ink. It is embossing ink, and it also stamps really crisp and very dark. So it's one of my favorite inks to emboss with, especially if I want to have a black image. I'm using the Blanket of Snow background from Unity Stamp Company. I just really love these whimsical snowflakes. They're in all sorts of sizes and styles. So if you're looking for a good snowflake background, I highly recommend this one. I have some Bristol cardstock in my MISTI, and I'm just going to prep that with an anti-static tool. That way I know any excess embossing powder is just going to slide right off this paper where it's not supposed to stick. So I inked up once, and then I'm just going to ink up again. This ink pad is really inky, so I got a nice impression the first time, but there were some little holes, so I'm going to stamp it again and give it a really good press, and I have a wonderful coverage of these snowflakes. My first attempt at glitter is going to be glitter embossing powder. This is by Nuvo, and it is a black embossing powder with glitter included in it. So I'm just covering up my stamped image, making sure it's nicely covered, tapping off the excess, and then we're going to heat emboss that with a heat tool. You could also do this with Versamark ink, the embossing ink. That would work just as well too. I ran my heat tool for quite a bit of time, maybe 30 seconds or so, so I got nice and hot, and then I'm holding it close to my paper and melting that embossing powder. You want to make sure you keep it moving so you don't burn either the embossing powder or your paper. And now it's time to get just a little bit messy. I'm going to put my background into a box just because I want to keep my area nice and clean. The spray inks do what they say, they spray. So I'm just going to wet my paper with some water and then give it 3 spritz of this beautiful funky fuchsia color of inks, and then do another layer of the Calypso teal on top. And then I gave it another spritz of water to kind of get that ink to move. What I love about this is you don't have to do any ink blending. All you have to do is add water, and that will cause all that ink to move. I let that dry a little bit, and then I brought it back into my box. I thought it was looking pretty vibrant. I wanted to get rid of some of that ink, so I spritzed it again with water, and I'm just picking up some of that ink with a baby wipe. And that kind of lightens up those rich tones, so I get a little more variation in my background, so I get some more light blue and pinks against those really vibrant blues and pinks as well. Once that was completely dry, I covered it with some white splatters and then let that dry once again. Now let's bring in our second level of glitter with some glitter paper. And this glitter paper doesn't shed, so that makes me super happy. I just cut that down and covered my card front, and then I trimmed down my snowflake background with the scallops and rectangles nesting dies from Unity, and just slap that down in the center of my card. For the sentiment, I'm going to use some more glitter paper. I use the Holidays die from the Say It Big Holidays die set. I really love how that pops against the background and also kind of ties into those white splatters that I have going on. This is Artist Tack adhesive dots. It's a sheet that has all these little tiny adhesive dots on it that you just lay your die cut over and then just kind of rub it to pick up those adhesive dots. I do like to move it over that sheet quite a few times just to make sure I get a nice coverage behind the sentiment. And I'm liking it. I'm learning how to use it more and more each time that I do, but it just seems easier than trying to use liquid adhesive. And then I'm just using my tweezer to help with placement and making sure it gets a nice solid adhesion in the corner of my card. And to finish it off, I just need to add a little happy to my sentiment. This is stamped in some Gina K ink, and the stamp is from the Sunflower Wishes Front and Center Sentiment Kit. And here is the final card. The two types of glitter really makes this card shine, and don't you just love those bold background colors and how easy it is to do with spray inks. I'll have all my supplies linked in the description of this video and on my Dollhouse Designs blog. If you have any questions or a sweet comment, post below. Thank you so much for creating with me. Be sure to like and subscribe to catch all my future tutorials, and I hope you're inspired. I'll see you next time. Bye.